Story. Once upon a time, a research team spent weeks, and I mean weeks, putting together a huge market report. Sound familiar? Well, get this. They get to the big final presentation only to find out their AI had basically hallucinated the entire strategy. Yeah, total disaster. So level up, study buddy. Let's build something better.
And look, this isn't just some made-up scary story. It's a very real risk. Just think about it for a second. All those wasted hours, the hit to your credibility, maybe even a catastrophic business decision, all because of one tiny, unchecked AI error. When you're just relying on a simple one-shot query, you're basically gambling that your AI gets it 100% right on the first try. And there's no safety net. This is what we call a cascading failure. It's this awful snowball effect where one little mistake at the very beginning just grows and grows until the final result is completely unreliable. You know, the real problem with these old-school single-shot AI pipelines is that they can't think for themselves. They have no clue if a source is contradictory or if the data is incomplete or just flat out wrong. They just execute and deliver for better or for worse.
All right, so that's the scary part. The big question for you and me is, how do we fix this? How do we take our AI from being this powerful but kind of unpredictable tool and turn it into a reliable teammate, a proactive partner we can actually count on? Well, it means we've got to make a fundamental shift in how we think about our AI workflows. Okay, let's dive into the solution. We are moving from a passive tool to a proactive partner. I want you to picture your AI not as some fancy search bar, but as a real digital coworker. One that can actually reason, that can check its own work, and collaborate with you on a goal. Now, the framework that makes all this possible is called Agentic RAG. And listen, this isn't just another buzzword. It's a whole different kind of system, one designed to give AI agents real autonomy. They can plan out how to tackle a complex problem, go find the info they need, and, this is the part that changes everything, they can verify that information before they ever present it to you as fact. So how does it actually do that? Well, the magic behind it is a principle called dynamic task decomposition. See, instead of you just dumping one giant messy question on the AI and kind of crossing your fingers, an agentic system is smart. It breaks that big goal down into a bunch of smaller, logical, manageable subqueries. It's basically like turning a massive, overwhelming project into a simple, step-by-step checklist. Okay, so it breaks the problem down. But then what? Well, this brings us to the most powerful part of the whole system, the self-correcting loop. This is the engine that guarantees you get reliable, accurate results. The best way to think about it is like you're building a quality control department right into your AI's workflow. So let's just walk through this loop. First, you give it the big mission, the complex goal. Then, the system automatically decomposes it into those smaller subqueries we just talked about. Now, here's the critical part. The agents execute a query, and then they immediately verify the results in this super tight loop. It's only after an insight passes that verification step that it gets integrated into the final answer. It's this constant cycle of doing and checking, doing and checking. And this whole loop is powered by what's basically a two-agent team. Think of it like a dynamic duo. You've got Agent 1, the retriever. This is the go-getter. It goes out and gathers all the initial data. But then you have Agent 2, the evaluator. This one's the skeptic, the tough editor. Its entire job is to be a quality gate, to fact-check, to spot contradictions, and to validate the retriever's work before anything moves forward. It's your built-in fact-checker. But what happens when the evaluator does find a mistake? Well, this is what makes it so powerful. The system has a persistent memory, so it tracks its progress, and if the evaluator flags an issue, it doesn't just throw up its hands and quit. Nope. It intelligently reruns the search with new instructions until it finds a result that meets that quality benchmark. It literally learns and adapts on the fly. So, okay, we've got a system that's way more accurate, way more reliable. That's a huge win. But let's talk about what you probably really care about. What's the tangible impact on your workflow? Let's quantify this thing and see what it actually means for your time and your effort. Get ready for this. 80%. Just let that number sink in for a second. 80. By moving from that painstaking manual fact-checking process to an automated, self-correcting pipeline, people are seeing up to an 80% reduction in manual research effort. That's not just an improvement, that's a total game changer. And here's what that actually looks like. A research project that might take you a full work week, we're talking 40 hours of grinding away, searching, reading, cross-referencing, can now be done with higher accuracy in about 2 hours. Think about that. You're not just saving time, you're getting back almost your entire week to focus on high-level strategic thinking. All right, this all sounds great in theory, I know, but the real power comes when you actually apply it. So let's get practical. Let's talk about how you can start building your very first loop and bringing this into your own work right now.
So, where do you even start? I want you to think about your job. What are those repetitive, high stakes tasks you do? Market research, like the story we started with? Perfect candidate. What about contract review, where missing one little clause could be a disaster? Absolutely. Or maybe competitive analysis, due diligence, even just auditing technical documents. All of these are prime candidates for an Evaluator-Optimizer loop.
All right, here's your homework, your mission. After this is over, just take 5 minutes. That's it. Map out just one workflow from your job. Could be any of the ones we just talked about, and just find the spots. Identify the key points where an evaluator loop could step in and act as that quality gate to catch mistakes before they become big problems. So if there's just one thing you take away today, let it be this. The future of AI at work, it's not about static, brittle automation anymore. It's about building intelligent, dynamic, self-correcting pipelines that work with us, protect us from major errors, and ultimately, it's about building trust with our new digital coworkers. If you're fired up to start building these kinds of workflows, then make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Study Buddy with Notebook LM. It's your daily guide to this whole agentic revolution. Thanks for tuning in. Stay agentic.